Let's talk concealment. It seems like in any endeavor, there are strongly held opinions, and people will fight to the death over things that don't seem to be worthy of that effort to me. One of those things is concealment. If you want to start on any social media platform a thread or a post that gets mega engagement, 200 plus comments, all kinds of back and forth, intense back and forth, make a post that says, here's how I think you should conceal when carrying, or something of that nature, where you set a hard and fast, and this is the only acceptable way to carry, and anything less than this means you're an idiot. Man, it will blow up. Why should I have such a strongly held opinion about what another grown adult is doing that has no effect on my life, no bearing, doesn't matter, not going to affect me in any way whatsoever? Why am I going to get that spanked up about it? It's pretty interesting. Now, let's talk a little bit about the concealment thing. I have my standards for concealment. How I'm dressed right now, a t-shirt or a button-up shirt, rarely, if ever, tucked in unless I'm going out to dinner, wearing a coat, something of that nature, going to a social event, a special occasion, then yes, my shirt will be tucked in. But for the most part, I go through my days dressed like this. I'm wearing jeans, a t-shirt, or a button-up shirt, or I'm wearing board shorts. When we get into like triple digits, I start to break out the shorts. This is how I dress, man. And also, I am in a constitutional carry state. You can open carry here, you can conceal carry here without a permit, without permission from the man, and I value that. When we talk about concealment and concealed carry and those concerns, where am I? What am I doing? Who's around me? What are they doing? Right? Now, when I think of it from that perspective, what I'm wearing right now is more than adequate. You can't see that I have a gun. I could stand, turn, all that good stuff. You can't see that anything is on me. Now, do I have something on me? Of course. I have a full-size Walther PDP in a Dark Star Gear Orion holster. I have never been made, to my knowledge. I've never had anybody say to me that they can tell I'm carrying a pistol, that I have anything on me. I have carried a concealed pistol on me since 1998, for sure. Out and about or doing my thing, traveling to and fro, I have something on me. Let's talk about that concealment thing, right? For me, this is adequate concealment. If by some chance someone notices that I have a pistol on me, in this part of the country, it is not a big deal. Look, I have gone to a local donut shop to get a coffee and a pastry, and the barista had an M&P, a Smith & Wesson compact M&P, on her hip, open carried. Tell me another place in the country where you can go to a coffee shop and your barista will be open carrying a decent blaster, an actual pistol that you could do work with if you had to. I'm in a different part of the country, man. With that in mind, my environment too, for the most part, from 98 until 2018, 2020, I was in law enforcement, so my day job required open carry or some sort of carry. And then my off-duty time, I just concealed. I lived in Illinois, which is communist country, and not gun friendly, not freedom friendly, definitely not constitution friendly. And yeah, man, there was times where I was very careful about carrying. I was very careful about concealment. I still carried a full-size pistol, either a 1911 or a Beretta 92. occasionally a Glock, but always a full size pistol. And I was able to, because of the environment, right? Usually dressed like this, interestingly enough, I was able to conceal that thing and carry it. It came down to having good holsters, Dark Star gear, Filster, um, JM Customs. I'm going to leave somebody off, I know. Henry holsters. Who else? The guys that make the Velo, man, Tenacor, Tier 1, those guys. Having good holsters that are designed for concealment by people that actually carry and conceal and value concealment and have done the work. Having good gear from those folks, very important to solving that puzzle. But I wasn't in an office, I wasn't in a medical environment, I wasn't in anywhere where I had to really be overly concerned about someone seeing me and figuring out what's that weird shape under his shirt. I didn't have to worry about it. Now, with that said, I also have some friends that are very adamant about complete concealment, absolute zero profile, not letting anything slip, and being on it. And they have good reason because of their profession. I have one friend who lost his job because of a rat at work who went and told, hey, he's probably got a pistol on him. And the workplace was a no weapons allowed workplace. And I have another friend who was in a professional environment where he had to wear tucked in shirts, dress slacks, and shoes, and sometimes, most of the time, a tie. And so his concerns for concealment and how to conceal in that environment, very different from me. But it never occurred to me to tell him, hey, if you're not carrying a Glock 17 or at least a Glock 19, if you're not carrying a fighting pistol, you're wasting your time. Figure out how to dress around that gun. That never would occur to me because I would assume that anybody I'm friends with has put some careful thought and consideration into their needs and how to exercise their right to life, right? To defend their life, and they're going to carry accordingly. I'm never going to argue with people, I'm never going to debate with people. If they ask me, I would have opinions, but even there, I'm not in that world, man. I'm not living in that world where I'm in a suit and tie or I'm in a tie and business casual or business attire. And I have people all around me who are constantly seeing me, constantly noticing everything because of our proximity. And they start to question or wonder what's under his shirt? What is going on under his coat? Why is his coat sitting weird? I don't have to think about that. I don't have to consider that. When we talk about these things, when we and we'll do more on concealment because it's an area I really like to think about and talk about, particularly to answer questions for folks who. And so when I'm thinking about this stuff and talking about this stuff and doing research, gathering knowledge, I take into consideration people like that, like the two friends that I just mentioned, where there were severe repercussions for the one. His life changed instantly in a 30-second period. The time it took for somebody from HR to come down and go, we need to take a look in your bag. His whole life turned upside down. And also my other friend who was in an environment where if he got made, there would be some professional repercussions. He was the owner of the company, so it wasn't really going to be a problem in that regard. But could he lose clients? Could he lose business? Maybe. People are weird about this stuff, man. People don't respect your right to life. They don't respect your life, your ultimate universal right to live and to defend that life at whatever cost, at whatever you have to do to live. And when we talk about this, we have to be conscious of that. And so when I'm thinking about it, when I'm talking about it, understand that I am talking from my frame of reference and I'm not condemning or coming down on somebody else because they don't meet my standard for concealment. They don't meet my standard for a carry pistol. Obviously, I'm carrying a full-size pistol with an optic and all kinds of good stuff. It's different, right? If if my criteria was different, if I was in an environment where if I get made, I'm going to lose my job, my ability to provide for my family, maybe I would be carrying a Glock 43 or even something smaller, less optimal, in some sort of Enigma rig by Filster, something like that, where I can have it, my shirt tucked in, everything hidden away, and the only way they're ever going to know I have something on me would be to strip search me. Maybe that would be what I'm doing. And I have to be open to that. And I have to also be able to answer those questions as an instructor for folks when they talk to me and ask me. I can't ever have this attitude that if you don't do it my way, then you need to hit the road, man. I think it just takes a few moments of thought and consideration to realize that what works for me, what's important for me, isn't the same for someone else. And when we dive deeper into this over the next few videos talking about concealment and concealment considerations, I want you guys to remember that what's important for me might not be important for you. For me, being able to carry a full size fighting size pistol is important. But for someone in an office, someone in a medical environment, scrubs, that kind of thing, maybe having a lightweight, smaller pistol that they can mount on an Enigma and tuck away, or a similar rig where their considerations are going to be different than mine, and their needs are going to be different than mine, because the risk for discovery is worse than mine. I'm in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, this area of the country. Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. But other parts of the country, or even in certain parts of this area of the country, if there is a sign on that business and there's a policy in place in that business that says no weapons, and you're made, you get burned, you ratted out, or you didn't consider your concealment carefully, you're going to lose your job. And that's not something to be taken lightly. As we dive deeper into this over the next few videos, we're going to discuss a lot of concealment options, considerations, things of that nature. We need to be conscious of the fact that for me, I can carry anywhere, and I carry a full-size pistol all the time. But for somebody in an office, a medical office, some sort of professional building setting, their considerations, the ramifications, repercussions for them if they get made are considerably different than for me. We have to be conscious of that and tolerant of that. We have to allow for them to do what they think is necessary for them in their environment. They know better than I what's at stake. As we move forward, man, let's keep an open mind and have a good conversation.